Kevin Blumer is with us today. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Yeah, that's great. That's what we like to hear. Now, what is it exactly that you do?
So what I do is I help small businesses do better in Google
Yeah.
and help find customers for them. Hopefully, at the end of ranking them, which is it's all part of a big process,
Yeah.
but it's all great fun.
Yeah. What exactly does that involve? Is that kind of getting them higher in search results?
Yeah, getting them higher. So like the score for their keywords and keywords that are related to their business.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, basically.
Yeah, how exactly do you do it? Because it seems like quite a complicated thing. Like you have to get certain things exactly right.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of SEO as it is. It's kind of science and it's kind of an art.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way you can put it. And the way it kind of works is, we as like SEO people, we can probably do 80% because there's actually 20% that we don't know.
Oh.
So what we do is we're always trying new things, and I would say when you're doing SEO, probably 30% of them new things brings in your most like customers or your new traffic.
Can you be certain when you use CEO tricks that you will get higher up, or is there still an element of randomness about Google and other search engines?
I would say on because what we do is whenever I start a project, I do something called due diligence, and basically what I'm doing at that part-time info customer one lovers is I'm just checking to see that I can really take this customer on.
Yeah.
Out of the last few years, I would say 99% that it's going to help you. There is certain subjects that just don't work, but it's very, very rare.
Yeah. Does it become much harder to rank websites when there's more of kind of similar types of things?
Yeah, so if you've got like a really tight niche, it
Yeah.
gets a little bit more. It gets a little bit more complex. You got to do a
Yeah.
little bit more. Probably, yeah, that's probably the right word. You got to do a little bit more, and you probably got to be a little bit more unique at the same time. And
Yeah.
where I was saying them like new ideas, they're really going to help you there.
Yeah. Because if there's 1,000 clothes shops and you're just one of them, it could be very hard to get to the top when there's so many.
Yeah, there's one of the secrets that I've got in this. Hey, yeah, I will give away is that I like long tail, something called long tail, and
Yeah.
these are like keywords basically that rank a lot quicker, but also help towards sales. So it's like a magic formula.
Yeah, for sure. Now, what is it that you do exactly yourself to help websites rank? Can we hire you to sort of do all that working out for us?
Yeah, basically, you get people at different stages, and if they know their target audience, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
If they've got a marketing plan, it's also brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
It makes life for me really easy. But if they don't, hey, it we can learn. I learn. I love learning. I love learning new subjects.
Yeah. And how easy is it for somebody who knows nothing about CEO really to kind of learn what it is and work out how to place their website themselves?
It's yeah, you can do a little bit yourself. There's a lot. You see, it very much depends on niche.
Yeah.
It's like so, like if you've got a like really easy niche, it's this stuff I can teach you that'll help you. But if it's a really competitive niche, then you're looking more towards links, and that that's quite difficult for a newcomer to grasp, I'd say.
Yeah. And with CEO, is that the only kind of main way to get website traffic and sort of sales, I suppose? Or does it still not guarantee that if you're selling something on your website, for example, that you're going to make money from having great CEO?
So I got a round number here for you.
Oh.
This is the number I work with everyone, and this is very basic. But usually, when let's say you get 1,000 visits to your website, as long as they're natural, you've not pushed them or did anything to them, and that's 1,000 people coming, you're going to get a sale. Once you get to that level. But sometimes it's not just SEO. You have to go into, say, your digital marketing as well. Like, say, your Facebook or your Twitter or your LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And you got to, sometimes it takes a combination of them to get things to work. Because it's not always and this is probably quite important, it's not always the first time that someone buys. Sometimes it takes about 3 shots to get them to buy.
Yeah. So does it cost money sometimes to try and use CEO? Because I'm just wondering, sometimes you might spend money on it and then not get anything back for it.
If you spend the money in SEO, you've got to be sure on them keywords. If you get them keywords, it sounds really silly, but if you've got the right keywords, you're going to make money. If, on the other hand, if you don't do the keyword research and the strategy before you start, then that's kind of that's sketchy, because you don't know what's coming. And what I do with everyone is we do the strategy and the keywords very first. And this kind of tells us that we can kind of see into the future a little bit and say, this is going to rank, this is going to rank, this is going to help. But we might need a bit Twitter and a bit Facebook to push things.
Absolutely. And the future of business and retail and everything is all online, really. So it's really important to have a good CEO presence, isn't it? Because, nobody's going to find your business if you don't have that.
Yeah, it's gonna be it's something that's growing. What can I say? SEO as a whole is it's getting harder, I would say. It's the barrier to entry is changing a little bit from when I started.
Yeah, I suppose it gets harder because there's more websites out there now, and they can't all be number one at the search.
Yeah, it's a big fight to the top, basically.
For sure. So, how did you first start to get interested in CEO yourself? Because I suppose it's maybe sort of a geeky thing. Were you always sort of interested in stuff like this?
Oh, it's a brilliant question. I love your question. It actually goes back to many, many years ago. And basically, I loved marketing as a kid.
Yeah.
So at 9 years old, I was reading marketing books.
Oh.
I didn't care about sales. I just cared about marketing. I wanted to get the yellow pages. Let's get the yellow. And these books were great because, many years later, I come into this and you don't have to do these newspaper adverts and these yellow adverts and go to these big meetings, because now you've got Google to do it for you. And that's basically it was something as a kid that's basically, it just made so much sense, and it was so much more easier, I think.
Yeah, that's quite interesting to be interested in marketing at just 9 years old. Most 9-year-olds have completely nonsensical things on their mind.
Yeah, it was like books, and then at school, funny enough, I was a librarian, so that also helped, because actually that's what you're doing on Google. You're just sorting out which book comes first, basically.
Yeah. And you mentioned about newspaper adverts. Do you think that newspaper adverts aren't as effective these days as CEO?
I'm probably... Can I kill my own market here?
Oh, no.
So if, I'm going to kill myself a little bit here because I'm an SEO guy. But the offline marketing, like newspaper adverts and everything, it actually helps your website. A lot of people wouldn't think that, but Google's ideal world is they want Google's business view, and they want to make it as real world as possible. So some of them signals, say from a newspaper article, say for example, that comes into Google, they read that, they're going to rank you a little bit higher for that. So actually the offline marketing is still quite important as well.
That's really interesting, because you would think that with less people reading physical newspapers these days and things moving more and more online, that it wouldn't be as important as it once was. So that's quite an interesting point.
Yeah, I mean, I've got people who, a good example probably would be maybe a pizza takeaway. You know,
yeah.
I'm sure you've seen the leaflets come through the door, but actually, them leaflets, you know, 1 out of every 100 people is going to buy a pizza, but then, you know, you've got maybe another 2 or 3 of them actually who are then going to go online. So look, you've got 4 customers basically.
Yeah.
And it really, really helps.
That's really interesting. So are there any other effective ways of advertising that help grow your business with Google, like newspaper advertising?
Yeah, there is a tip I can give away, and this is for everyone. And it's a really, really important one. It's very, very fundamental. And it's called Google My Business.
Oh.
And any business, doesn't matter what you're doing, service, products, just type into your search bar, Google My Business. You'll get a little postcard. It takes about 2 to 4 weeks. Sometimes it doesn't come. If that postcard doesn't come, don't worry, it happens quite a lot for some reason. You send for it again. And what happens is then Google takes your business and it puts you into Google in the actual business section. So say you're a restaurant, it's going to put you in the restaurants, and that's going to really help anybody.
That sounds really interesting. That's a great idea.
There is a rule, mind. There is a rule with that one. It's got to be a real address. Okay. You can't get away with PO box numbers. Or virtual offices as well. You can't get away with them. So as long as it's a real business, that's going to help people greatly.
Just send it to some random old lady's house.
That might work as well.
Yeah. So where are we able to check out your services if we are interested in having a look?
So if you want to jump over to my site, I'm really easy to find. I'm kbos2hm.co.uk.
Nice.
And it's got both my services, and it's also got a free technical audit. So the technical audits, if you've had a newly website built and you're just not sure, it's not quite working, there's a free audit there.
Yeah. Oh, nice. That's a really good service.
It's 15 minutes free consultation if you take that as well. No strings attached at all.
That's great. And are you on social media as well for us to follow you and keep up with any exciting new offers and things going on?
Yeah, sure. It's the same again. So it's kbos2hm. That's on Twitter and Facebook, believe it or not.
Nice. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show today. It's been great talking to you and some very interesting stuff.
Yeah, thanks very much. It's been a pleasure.